Hello and welcome to the last weather video of the year 2025. And before we take a look at what the weather's going to be like as this year wraps up and we head into a new one, let's just go over again a map of the snowfall totals here that was released by the National Weather Service, and you'll see once again that really I think my updated forecast actually did pretty good, I think. And you can see here much lesser totals over Nassau and western Suffolk, only like 3 to 5 inches, whereas further eastern Suffolk you see those 6, maybe even a few 7-inch amounts there out on the east end, and the highest amounts are in Connecticut. So definitely an underperformer. It was a clipper that was enhanced by some atmospheric river moisture from the Pacific, but it was a clipper, and I think everybody kind of just lost track of that and look at what the models were putting out. That's why I was kind of cautious about it from the outset. I was never buying into the heavier amounts. And I'm like, they were saying like 6 to 10 inches, 8 to 12 inches. I mean, what are they, crazy? But anyway, it's over with, and we're going to get rid of most of this snowpack. We did have a winter weather advisory in for a short amount of time because of freezing rain. But for the most part, looking at the radar right now, you can see that rain is moving away. We had a very short period of it. Again, here's the satellite. Plenty of clouds, obviously, has been the story for most of the weekend. Plenty of clouds. We didn't really see much sun at all. Here's the storm system that we are going to be dealing with into tomorrow. This is a very powerful low-pressure system that's bringing blizzard conditions to the northern Great Lakes area. And then you have this clear air here, and you think, oh, we'll get into that. Not quite. So we'll go over all of that. First, let's go over the statistics for today, and looking at the hazard map, you can see again all those blizzard and winter storm warnings out for like places like Minnesota and stuff. A winter weather advisory to the north, and a wind advisory been issued now for New Jersey, and I'm pretty sure we're going to need one for Long Island as well, not just for tomorrow, but Tuesday, which would be even worse with the wind. So let's go what we got right now. Temperatures are in the mid-30s, so we have made it above freezing. The alley's already like 43, so that's no surprise. But it was a cold night last night. We did actually get some radiation cooling in some spots. So let's go to the lows. And that was pretty interesting, and I said there would be some. Take a look at West Hampton. It got down to 3 degrees at West Hampton, 12 at Shirley, 21 at Islip, 19 at Farmingdale. But in the city, they didn't get the radiation cooling. LaGuardia got down to 24. My alley was probably around that as well. 22 in the city. Yeah, 3 degrees there. And also out in the Hamptons, too. Teens. So I had a feeling it was going to be a cold night with that fresh snowpack and the light winds. They did not, however, get that kind of radiation cooling in New Jersey, where it looks like Miller Park only got down to 16. Now today was the temperatures really never got that. The warmest temperatures we are seeing are the ones that we have right now. So let's go over the climate for the climate report for Islip for today. High of 34, a low of 16. So that low of 16 was 11 degrees below normal. And the high of 34 was 8 degrees below normal. Now, precipitation, sort of catching up here. Month to date, 3.51. Normal supposed to be 4.30. We still got a little ways to go before we get to normal, but we will be picking up some more precipitation. And then Saturday turned out to be pretty chilly as well. We had a high of 31 and a low of 28. Not a big spread there. In the temperature department, but again, very interesting at West Hampton. We're going to go head over to West Hampton right now, and obviously they've made it back up to 34, about 3 degrees this morning. That's the coldest temperature in the whole entire area, and that's no surprise because we had that calm winds, fairly clear skies except for some scattered cirrus, almost no winds, very low dew points, and that set the stage, and the snow in the Pine Barrens really 3 degrees if you were in West Hampton. And actually was in the single digits. I'm like, it dropped into the single digits after 10 o'clock last night, and it stayed there until about 8:20 this morning. So that's pretty remarkable. And so, yes, definitely some good radiational cooling over there for sure. Very impressive to see that for sure. Now, I just want to pull up the radar and just show you this storm that we have. So again, you can see all the freezing rain here that we have here, and this freezing rain goes way up into Canada, by the way. So this cold air is very shallow. But then on the back side, you see all the snow. and the blizzard conditions. And here's the rain and this cold front that we're going to have for tomorrow. Now, I don't think we're going to see any severe weather from it, but we will take a look at the Storm Prediction Center just to make sure. So here's this low-pressure system, warm front, and then cold front moves through in the afternoon, and we kind of get stuck in a cyclonic flow. So let's look at the Storm Prediction Center, and there was actually a... was that a tornado watch over there? Looks like that was a tornado watch over there that they had, or something. They have a slight risk right there. So, convective outlook, and then we go for tomorrow. Let's see if we no severe. So, they're not saying, all right, the severe element they think is going to go away as we get to... No, we're not going to look at that yet. So, let's go to the models here and take a look at this really impressive storm system. And before we talk about that, we'll just go over the last couple days of this month and what's going to be happening, obviously, as we head into the new year, I should say, month and year. So let's go to the European, and we'll look at the upper air and jet stream patterns. So we'll start with the jet stream. Obviously, you can see that ridge is going to pull warm air in, but then we have another trough coming through with this storm. That's going to bring in cold air, and you can see there's a little bit of a block in Greenland now. That's going to keep that cold air in place through the week. This is the 18Z run of the European here. So through the week, we're going to stay in this cold air, right? And we'll go a little further. You can see plenty of troughing in the east. So that looks to me like we're going to be seeing some cold temperatures again. So looking at the European here. Again, this is the 12Z run. See, here's that storm that comes through tomorrow, and you can see how it gets trapped in that spot there. Big block in Greenland keeps us cold, and that block kind of just keeps that cyclonic flow, that flow coming out of Canada. This is going to be Arctic air, actually, that's going to be over us for much of the week. And then it relaxes a little bit, and then we see it again as we head into next week. So it looks like a cold pattern on the European, and the GFS is probably very similar to that. Let's go ahead and look at that as well. Yep, sure is. All right, the GFS is a little different. It does try to warm things up briefly and break down. It may be acting too soon on breaking down that block, in my opinion, anyway. So we'll go to the temperature anomaly chart next. I'm going to keep it on this region view here. All right, this is the GFS. You can see the warmth that we have tomorrow, but then we have colder air coming in. You can see more colder air coming in this week, more Arctic air. You can see that Arctic connection, all right? And then another Arctic connection. Meanwhile, over Greenland, it's pretty warm. And then a little bit of a break, and then we see a little more of a moderation. That's the GFS. I think it wants to break it down too quickly. Let's look at the European here. And you can see cold air follows behind that storm for Tuesday and stays below normal all week. Cold air pretty much staying below normal, and maybe a little bit of a warm-up, but then another shot of cold air in the middle of next week, and this one could be even stronger. So, yeah, this looks like we're going to see, again, below normal temperatures for right into the new year at this point. And December, I'm sure, is going to be quite impressive as far as the below normal anomaly, which is something we just haven't seen in a while. So let's go to the surface. And here's our storm, our powerful, very powerful storm going over the Great Lakes. Brings the cold front through tomorrow, and there could be some more heavier rain with that. It should get rid of most of the snow because we're going to have it's not really going to be a full LLJ event, but there's going to be enough warm air advection. But one thing you'll notice is how tight the isobars are around Monday, Tuesday. You can see that the high pressure kind of goes off to the west, and that's where the clear sky is going to be. We're going to be stuck in the cyclonic flow and probably plenty of clouds through Tuesday. Maybe it gets a little bit up by Wednesday, but you see that flow continuing here. That there's a low right there that goes down to the south that stays well to the south here. Another low here that goes up here, and then this one ushers in more Arctic air. And then this, yeah, there's the potential that we could see a significant coastal storm develop. This is ways out. This is January 9th, but they're just saying there is the potential there that I think we'll see at least one coastal storm develop and maybe a more significant snowfall with that. Here's the GFS, showing you the GFS here. This is the 18Z GFS. I probably should keep, we'll use the 18Z, whatever. But you can see here that we stay fairly dry after this storm. And then the next system would be, this is the same system that the URO was showing, but at GFS has it much further north. But this far out, it's kind of hard to tell. But you see that there are a bunch of storms here that will develop. So let's discuss more on the short range, and we'll kind of go back and look at the longer range for a little bit. But let's get through tomorrow first, tonight and tomorrow. The danger for freezing precipitation is over, and you'll see here that as we head into tomorrow, probably won't be raining until we get toward late morning, and then there's going to be that cold front's going to come through with some showers. Can't rule out a thunderstorm, and then it should eventually start tapering off by like 3 o'clock the latest. We may hang on a little more in the east end, and then here comes the wind as we get until tomorrow night and Tuesday. You could even see some ocean effect of snow there in the cyclonic flow. There can't even rule out a possible flurry just because of the instability in the air. There will be plenty of clouds around. Just to show you, we'll look at a sounding. I'll show you what I mean. Yeah, see, plenty of stratocumulus. So you'll be dealing with that and some cumulus and not a whole lot of sun. So let's look at the dew point and wind flow. Because here's the dew point and wind flow, and you can see the air moistens up tonight. We get the southwesterly flow. Dew points rise. And then the cold front comes through in the afternoon, wind shift to the west, and then the dew points crash down. We have very gusty westerly winds. Dew points crash down into the teens, and even lower than that on Tuesday. This is going to be Arctic air, so dew points in the single digits, and pretty gusty winds, which are going to make it feel pretty cold. Looking at the temperatures, tonight our temperatures rise. We probably will hit an early high, close to 50 in the late morning hours, and then as we get toward later in the afternoon, temperatures drop quickly through the 40s into the 30s, and probably below freezing by after 8, 9 o'clock. And for Tuesday morning, you are going to wake up and it's going to be in the 20s, and then we're not making above 30 on Tuesday as we're back in the Arctic air. As far as total accumulated precip with this, not going to be a big rainmaker this storm. You can see it's the HRR is really dialed back on the amount of rain. We're going to see maybe only another quarter to maybe half an inch of rain on the HRR. That's what the HRR is showing. Let's go to the HDRPS and see if that looks any different. Not really. So it looks like to me that there's not going to be that much heavy rain with this. It's be a little short amount of rain, but it really won't all add up that much. So it probably not get rid of all the snow. We'll have to see what happens. I'm hoping it gets rid of most of it. Definitely if you're in Jersey, because you got so little to begin with. But for Suffolk County, I think some might hang on. So now we'll go look at the skies as we get into, and obviously it sucks because we haven't seen much of the sun, and we haven't even had like a night where it's clear. And last night we finally had some clear sky around, so we'll take some pictures of the snow and the moon, and there wasn't a whole lot of wind, because if it's windy, it makes everything blurry, and some Christmas lights. So I don't know when we're going to have another night like that, because the wind, we're going to have, even though the skies will try to clear out tomorrow night, we're going to have plenty of wind. So here's tomorrow night. It will clear out, but then Tuesday we're going to have a lot of stratocumulus build over us, and it may even be a band of flurries of snow showers over Suffolk County. Perhaps can't rule that out. And then Wednesday, it's showing a little less in the way of clouds. So I'm hoping maybe we'll get some sunshine, but it won't be completely clear. And that's as far out as the RGM goes, by the way, for cloud cover. If I want to go to the GFS and look at that, see, it's showing plenty of clouds here. Wednesday, Thursday, it's still showing these clouds. Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday we get out of it. Who knows when we're going to have a clear day. I think with all this Arctic air, you think you'd be able to get clear skies. Like, well, when you got Arctic air in the past, we used to always get clear skies with it, but now it's like it doesn't always happen now, and that's because of climate change. So I'm going to go to the European, and we're just going to look at what's going to be happening with our temperatures. Again, I'm going to go to 12Z, just to give you an idea of the Arctic air that we're going to be dealing with all week. So even after we get a little bit of, we get another front Thursday that's going to bring things down even more, but maybe more of a northerly component. So maybe that'll make things clearer, hopefully. And then Friday, here we are, still in the Arctic air. West winds, still in the Arctic air. Saturday, still westerly winds, but the dew points still stay low. Still in the Arctic air for Sunday. Then Monday, we get a little bit of a break. And then here comes an even much stronger shot for Wednesday, January 7th. And originally, this was showing really big blast of cold air. Then it backed off of it. Now it's trying to bring it back to push it ahead a little bit. Here we are on Wednesday, and you can see, again, these are dew points, but it shows you the kind of air masses we're going to be having. And the temperatures, air temperatures this week. So obviously, we're going to be below freezing for Tuesday, and maybe Wednesday we get above it a little bit, 30s, but then Thursday we drop right back down, highs around 30. And then still staying cold, even on Friday here, 20s. We're going to be below freezing for quite a few. We go above on Saturday briefly, but then we get a little bit of a break. But then here comes that stronger shot of cold air as we get into the following week. And again, this is super long-range stuff. But if we can get some of that really cold air to come down, that would really be good. That would make my day. So highs only in the teens. I mean, I would love that. So that's what we need. And if people are like, oh, it's cold, the highs got into the upper 20s to around 30. When I grew up in the winter, we had frequent highs where we were only in the teens and the 20s. That happened a lot. Now it's a rarity. But hopefully we can get that to happen. Because even though we're seeing Arctic air, the Arctic air isn't quite as cold as it should be. That's, again, because of climate change. So, because the Arctic is warmer than it should be, if we go and we look at, and yes, I'll talk about the wind in a moment, but let's go to the ice. And I'll show you what I mean with the ice here. Find it. Where is it? Here it is. Go to the sea ice today here. Of course, I still have to find another site, but you'll still see we're below normal on sea ice. So still seeing below normal, well below normal on sea ice. So and that affects the air temperature of the Arctic air. It actually affects how cold it is. Even though we have Arctic air and it's cold, it's not as cold as it used to be when I was younger, back in the 80s and the 90s especially. So anyway, now we're going to talk about the wind. And for that, we will go to, you already saw how bunched up those isobars are going to be. So we're going to look at several other sites for that. And we're first going to go and look at Ventus sky. All right, now wind's not going to be an issue tonight. Not going to be an issue at 6 in the morning. Even during the afternoon, we're not seeing anything crazy yet. But as we get to at 5 o'clock, once that cold front passes, we'll start seeing wind gusts 46 miles an hour. I think wind advisory conditions will be met by the evening. 9 o'clock, the winds continue, 44, gusts to 44, gusts to maybe close to 50. Tuesday is going to be the worst day. Now, I'm starting off with Ventus sky first. Now we'll go to windy. Show you the European model. So let's go to wind gusts. So you can see as we get into tomorrow, those winds start picking up by the afternoon. Here we go. And that's your wind advisory conditions here for the evening. And I think you'll have wind gusts 40, gusting close to 40, maybe even 50 miles an hour. Tuesday is going to be the worst day with the wind. Winds gusting 40 to 50. And that is going to mean it's going to feel like it's in the teens out there, even though the air temperature may be in the upper 20s to around 30. Between that and not having any sunshine, not having much sunshine, it's going to feel very, very blustery on Thursday. A very blustery end to 2025 for sure. As we get into Wednesday, the winds do back off a little bit, but it still stays breezy. And then as we get into Thursday, now the winds really start quieting down a little more. Friday, I go as far as Friday, it doesn't look too bad. So the winds will calm down as we head into the new year, but 2025 will end on a windy note. Like much of the year has been a very windy year, for sure. And let's just go look at cloud cover and see if, of course, it's not clear on Thursday, of course. See, it's the problem. It's very hard to get clear. There's plenty of clouds on this model every single day. It's ridiculous. You're getting Arctic air. It should be clear. This is not normal. But anyway, when I was growing up, Arctic air meant nice deep blue skies. Now it's plenty of clouds. But anyway, and I'm sick of the clouds. I really am sick of them. That's one thing I'm going to say in this whole video. I'm sick of all these damn cloudy days already. It's like, If you're lucky to get one sunny day a week, I'd like half the week to be sunny. I mean, I know it can't be sunny every day, but can't we have sunny days, like at least 3 sunny days? I mean, it's ridiculous. You see all the cloud cover, and you see the cyclonic flow that's got all the cloud cover over us. Meanwhile, if you're over here, you're getting beautiful weather. If you're in Flagstaff, you're probably getting clear skies, though not as cold. But yeah, look at all these clouds. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's the cyclonic flow. That's the problem. So I'll have to see what happens. And as far as Friday, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's all. But anyway, lastly, let's go to the Climate Prediction Center and look at the 6 to 10 day outlook. And it has, no surprise, temperatures below normal, precipitation near normal for the northeast. The big area above normal in the west, that's where the big ridges, and also precipitation above normal as they continue to deal with atmospheric rivers and just crazy amounts of flooding on the west coast. It's insane. And here we are on the 8 to 14 day, continuing that trend pretty much, though it does seem to have the precipitation going a bit above normal for the northeast a little bit. So we'll have to keep that, but still staying near normal to below normal temperatures. So there's still plenty of Arctic air in our future, but I wish it would come with nice blue skies, and like it used to. But that's what makes it even harder to deal with. I love the cold weather, but I like it when it comes with sunshine and blue skies. When it's cloudy and windy, it sucks. All right. So that is all. Thank you for watching. Happy New Year, everybody, and we'll be back probably by Friday, I guess, the next weather video, and we'll see if we have any better chances for clear skies, and watch out for any snow chances too. There may be some, like I said, some small chances for flurries, but again, not really a whole lot of snowfall forecast for this week. But with all this Arctic air around, the potential for a big storm is always there. So, thank you for watching. Good night, and Happy New Year.